Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday message for March 2nd of 2025. The last time I spoke about our aspect of manifesting and how important it was for us to, first and foremost, get in touch with the source of all supply, which is God, source, the one. And I spoke about the eternal energy that underlies everything that we manifest. So today we're going to begin a discussion on the different planes or aspects of supply and maybe help us to realize where we are at in accepting the totality of supply for our lives. I was reading a book called Wells of Abundance by E.V. Ingraham, who was a student of Charles Fillmore. And he says that there are 7 ways in which we approach the matter of supply. And what he calls the first form of supply is that of absorption. He says this is the field in which organisms just absorb from the immediate surroundings, all of the elements to maintain itself and grow and all. And this primarily belongs to the vegetable kingdom, the plant kingdom. And he says from seed to fruit in a plant of joyous moisture, it absorbs all the elements of the earth, the air, all around it, everything around it. So all of our plants, the vegetables, whatever, don't toil and don't spin as quoted in the Bible. It merely receives, and from what it receives, it grows. Now, you and I and everyone is created in the image and likeness of God, who is all. Therefore, the law of supply applies to you in some way with the law of absorption or receiving. And that does enter into the process of our supply. However, since we are primarily spiritual beings, you receive from the spiritual plane first. And we are here to learn to receive the very essence of all the things that surround us. We absorb the very presence of life, love, wisdom, power, substance, just as you might absorb the light of the sun or the warmth of the air. What we have to do is to learn to drink in everything around ourselves that we can then enjoy and appreciate. This is vital and an essential supply. All of it feeds our internal nature. So when inwardly said, the outer supply will become simple. Now, the second plane of supply is a law of force. And when we have learned to look around us and accept the beauty, the joy, the peace that enfolds us all the time, and we are ready to absorb those blessings into our lives, then we can move on to the next plane. And when we look at the law of force, there's different aspects to this law. We can look at it from the animal kingdom, where animals fight each other for food. We can look at the human nature part of us and those who take things, from others instead of earning them for themselves. But the higher way of looking at the law of force is really quite simple. When we're making affirmation, what's the tone of voice and energy you use for your affirmations? Do we just say it by rote? Or do we have a little bit of force behind the words we speak when we're claiming our good? Now we can say, I am, healthy, whole, wealthy, complete. Or we can make the statement, I am healthy, whole, wealthy, and complete. And if we want to raise into the realm of creative intelligence, where we are the law, then sometimes a little force for our own well-being has to take place. So if we're struggling with our health or finances or relationship, to just sit there and mundanely claim that all is good there's very little energy going out from you to bring that type of energy in. However, just by making those same statements with some force of energy behind the statement, we are actually telling the universe that we are claiming our good. Now, Ingraham writes that exercising force in our speaking our truth is exerting our will to the point of complete reliance upon God, not only as the source, but also the supply itself. And when we speak these affirmations, there's a part of us that is moving to daring to trust, daring to rely upon, and daring to have faith that God is our instant and manifest supply, even when we can't see it. And when we are expressing a sense of force energy behind what we're stating, we are actually claiming all that good for ourselves. And yet, underlying all of that is our absolute trust and faith that as we speak, so shall it be. Now, part of this aspect of force is really helpful when we have challenges in our lives. And that's when that sense of being forceful in our language to claim our good pushes us beyond the barriers of what we see about us. If our bodies are not expressing wonderful health, and we use a little bit of force behind our statements of affirmation that this body is health, this body is expressing the health of God, and I am the fullness of health of God at this very moment. We're actually setting ourselves up to have that health to be ours now, even if we don't see it. And the same with wealth. So many times we just accept where we are at in life, and because we don't see of any other way of being, when instead the entire wealth of the universe is ours to claim. So accepting where we are is step one in starting the flow of supply. If we're fighting where we're at, we're actually sending an energetic barrier out to receive more. If we were accepting where we're at, then we can use the force behind our words to say, I am now opening to receiving greater wealth into my life. Now, we may not be ready to accept all the wealth of the universe into our lives, but we are all ready to receive greater wealth into our lives with peace and grace. So this is the aspect of the law of force that I want to get across. Now, the third law of supply is the law of work. Work, in the way that Ingraham talks about, is for the purpose of expressing and developing a skill. It's when you're doing something that you love to do. In one of the classes I took, it stated to do a job you love so much that you would do it for no pay. And I know there's not too many of us that can do that because we all still have, bills to pay, food to buy, and all the rest of it. It's just that it's the purpose of expressing and developing this skill as one where we can find satisfaction in. Many things that he points out in this chapter is that when you are working for an employer, give your best. Always give your best. That when you are giving your best at any moment in time, you may start out low on the totem pole in some way. But then when you're giving your best, you're putting out into the universe this energy that's going to be reciprocated in time. Even when we're working for ourselves, when we put our best into anything, we're doing the universe compensates us by giving us more work to do. And this law gives back an exact ratio in kind that which you're expressing and giving. Now he writes that mental and spiritual work are actually the first tasks of the individual who would express the greatest achieving power in the world. And that we have to look at why we're doing the work we're doing. Are we doing it for income only? Or are we able to take an aspect of serving others into our work, no matter what we're doing? And of course, as always, we first need to build a sense of wealth inside of us, which is done by our affirmations, which I mentioned before. When I state I am wealthy, I am healthy, with that sense of power behind those words, drawing us into more wealth and more health, more prosperity, more aliveness. And of course, we can do work out there, but it's more important to do the work inside so we can get a consciousness that says, all that Source has is mine, all that God has is mine. And we need to fill ourselves first with that aspect that all the bounty of the universe, the wealth of heaven and earth will fill you so much that the energy of knowingness that this is the truth becomes completely filled inside of us. And then whatever we do on the outside will be an expression of this and bring supply into our lives. Now, for those of us who are retired, maybe there's a different way of looking at work. Maybe volunteering somewhere could be a place where you share your skills of some sort. And from that sharing, you will reap rewards that you never imagined. Maybe new friendships, maybe more joy comes into your life. Maybe there's an inner sense of accomplishing something, doing something for others that pervades within you and brings you a sense of peace that you never imagined before. Now, the fourth plane of supply is the law of attraction. And when we've moved through the first three planes of the law of supply, absorbing all the beauty and joy and love from the universe around us, just sitting and accepting that into our being, and then understanding that when we are more forceful in claiming what it is we desire, the universe will answer quicker, clearer, easier for us. And when we've moved into the law of work, where we share our gifts and our talents with the world, we are then ready to move on to the law of attraction. By this time, you began to realize that your supply is not so much a matter of material form as it is the spiritual forces around us. And when we begin to truly understand that we are working with a spiritual force around us, then we begin to see things appear much quicker and much easier. After a while with working with the first three laws, you'll begin to notice that there's more health in your body. There's more of a sense of abundance that fills you. So instead of being concerned about lack in your life, there's a knowingness of universal supply that fills you. As we move into this, we remember that you yourself is a magnet of whatever forces you're putting out into the universe. A feeling of poverty attracts poverty into your life. A feeling of being taken advantage of affects, and attracts more energy to where you're being taken advantage of. A conviction of abundance inside of yourself brings abundance into your life. And it's critical that you set time aside each and every day to affirm that you are a powerful magnet and what you're attracting to you is coming to you quickly and easily. They come through your thoughts and through your feelings. And once you fully realize you are the magnet of everything coming to you, then you can use the power of force behind your words and feelings and use them to your advantage. I fully and completely open myself to receiving even greater good from universal source. And emphasize those words as you're speaking. I fully and completely open myself to the health and wealth of the universe. And once again, saying this with conviction, a true inner conviction that those are true brings those things to you even more so. One of the statements he uses in the book is, I am filled with the wisdom, love, power, and substance of God, and I pull to me all that is needful for my complete expression in life. Now, one of the things he does say is to take your mind off of looking for things to come your way, that you're actually driving energy away from you if you keep looking for the things to appear. Because when things don't appear, we have this tendency to tell ourselves that it's not working, when in actuality, it's completely working and just hasn't shown up yet. And of course, remember that if we're talking about health, it's not enough to just sit there and claim it and claim it and claim it. We also have to do something about it. It's like someone sitting around eating bonbons and watching TV all day and telling themselves that they're wonderfully healthy and have this exuberant, life filled body, and then don't see any results on it. We also have to do the outer work. If we're claiming that we have healthy bodies, then we have to show spirit that we're adamant about this. And we begin to eat healthier. We begin to put exercise into our daily routine, even if it's just walking. We have to show the universe that we are serious about what we're claiming for our lives. And if we say that we are wealthy, we start to take a look at how we are spending 90% of our money. There's a tremendous amount of people out there who could be incredibly financially wealthy if they didn't spend their money on frivolous things. It's like having a hole in their pocket. So we have to take a real stark look at how we're spending your money. Where does your money go? I once took a money management course, and we had to keep track of every single penny we spent, where it went, how much, and why did we purchase it? Why did our money go into that place? And I was really surprised how many little, a couple dollars here, $3 or $4 there, and how much it added up to after a month's time. Going out for a cup of coffee now, it costs anywhere from $3.75 to $4.25 for a cup of coffee. I could almost pay for a third of a bag of coffee for that. So whatever you want in your life, it's just time to show the universe that you're serious by doing things as if you already had what you desire, and you take responsibility for that. And another key thing is forget about the outer manifestations for a while and just devote yourself to doing the meditation that I'm going to share with you in a moment that will help you to build a stronger realization of spirit in your life and increasing that aspect of abundance for yourself. It's about filling your heart, your mind, your body, your essence, that you have all the treasures of heaven, of the universe already in you as you, and that is going to be a magnet for all the wealth of the universe. So I invite you now to just close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, and settle back into the couch, the chair, whatever you're sitting on, and just relax. Now take a slow, deep breath in and call all of your own energy back to you. And as you breathe out, allow that energy to go completely through every aspect of your being. And once again, just take a deep breath in, calling more and more of your own energy back to you, and allowing that energy to fill every cell of your body, your essence, your energy field. And let's do that one more time, taking a beautiful deep breath in, calling the last of all of your own energy back to you, and then allowing that energy to spread through every single cell of your body, into your whole essence, your whole being. And just take in these words. All the creative power and intelligence of God fills and surrounds my entire being. This power has created me. Out of its substance, My body and my world have been formed. The presence of God with me and in me sustains, feeds, and nourishes me in soul, in mind, and in flesh. Only the spirit that created me can sustain me. Therefore, I feast upon the spirit of God's abundance that is now and eternally poured out upon me from the four corners of the universe. I receive it. I accept it and build it into my consciousness and character. It is my light, my life, and my substance. I am filled with the wisdom, love, power, and substance of God. They feed and nourish my whole being from within. Refreshed in the knowledge and power of God, I am supplied with the original essentials of life. Being filled with the Spirit and radiant in the consciousness of God's rich abundance. I am an irresistible magnet that draws to me all material things needful for my completeness and perfection. And just take a moment to allow that to just settle into your body, into your being, into that which you are. And at this time, you can sit in that energy and just allow it to permeate your being for a while. Or you can take a deep breath in, absorbing it all into your being. And as you let it out, just open your eyes and be present in this very moment. Thank you for being here with me today. God bless. Much love.